5시 반인데 오후 5시 반입니다. 집중해서 좀 저녁 먹기 전까지 다양한 책을 좀 읽겠습니다. Make your point. Speak clearly and concisely, any place at any time. Chapter 2. A word about simplicity. Simplicity beat the complexity. We are bombarded with messages. Simplicity, knowing what you want to say and saying it simply. Please don't let your lack of preparation or your own insecurities compel you to say more than you have to. More information doesn't mean better information. The Gettysburg Address had only 261 words. Contrast that to a recent New York Times article reporting to a presidential candidate saying he has been talking for years, and yet such is the secret of his verbiage that he has achieved almost complete strategic ambiguity. The average person you talk to has the attention span of a gnat, your authors included. Keep your message simple, and you'll have a better chance of getting it to stick. Here's a fun brain teaser we found. How would you simplify this sentence? You'll find the answer at the end of the last chapter. Brain teaser. Brain teaser. Forget a mentor, find a sponsor. The new way to fast track your career. Chapter 2, How Sponsorship Works. How Sponsorship Works. More critically, H began to connect the show with the people who could provide the forms she sought. One of the things Jane absolutely loved was the depth of my network, the genuine relationship I'd cultivated with the people she observed. I want to continue to give Rose your full support, Shaw concluded, because the work she's doing is vital to Intel's success. Truth 3. Values drive commitment. The truth is that values drive commitment. You can only fully commit to an organization and other causes when there is a good fit between what you value and what the organization values. Leadership is a relationship, and the relationships are built on mutual understanding. Rejection proof. How I beat the fear and became invincible through 100 days of rejection. Chapter 2. Fighting Rejection. But then something happened and interrupted everything I was doing and learning. It felt like the start of the kind of medical transformation that people talk about in those late night infomercials for self-improvement products. I had always believed in working hard to pursue my dreams and had never put much stock in life transformation stories. But now it seemed I was actually beginning to live one myself. I was discovering something new, exciting, and useful, and I couldn't wait to see what I would learn next. And something else was starting to change my competence, and demeanor. Inspired destiny, living a fulfilling and purposeful life. Chapter 14. Do what you love what you do. Each man has his own vocation. The talent is the call. There is one direction in which all space is open to him. Vacations in vocation. You are more likely to require and desire vacation away from your job, career, or studies. When you are uninspired about the one you do, you'll want a break from whatever you perceive to be low on your values. A vacation seems necessary when you feel that you are requiring outside motivation to get you to do the task that go against your heart's desire. Vacation is assumed to release the pressure from having to repeatedly do something that you don't love. This is why so many people who aren't inspired about their vocation, that is, they are not doing what they love, view vacation as an escape, time off, It is sad for the majority of society who haven't taken the time to see that whatever they are doing in their daily work is assisting them in achieving what is highest among their values. Inspired insight. By doing what you love and loving what you do, you become inspired to serve and deliver, regardless of the job or task you are doing. Words of power. I do what I love. I love what I do, and I am handsomely and beautifully rewarded for it. I clearly see how everyday tasks are helping me fulfill my purpose. I am a self-determined individual who is inspired from within to do what I love. I am a master of transforming my perception, and I can see how everything serves. Change your brain, change your life. The Breakthrough Program for Conquering Anxiety, Depression, Obsessiveness, Anger, and Impulsiveness. 18. Who is Andrew really? Question about the essence of our humanity. Michael, a woman who attacked her husband with a knife several days before her period and who, when treated with D, became her normal, non-violent self. Linda, a woman who had been raped on 2 occasions and who suffered from anxiety, depression, worrying, and drug abuse. With St. John's Wort and EMDR psychotherapy, her brain normalized, and she was able to be much more effective in her life. Of course, the brain doesn't function in a vacuum. We always need to think about the psychological and the social underpinning of behavior as well, but all behavior starts in the actual physical functioning of the brain. Your brain matters. Mojo, how to get it, how to keep it, how to get it back if you lose it. Chapter 7. Acceptance. When can you let go? There is one area where Buddhism has given me an edge over many people I know. It has cured me of what I call the Great Western Disease. The Great Western Disease afflicts anyone who say or think the phrase, I'll be happy when, and then fills in the blank. I'll be happy when I have $1 million in the bank. I'll be happy when we move to a big house. I'll be happy when the kids graduate. I'll be happy when I retire. I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds. I'll be happy when the mortgage is paid off. I'll be happy when it's a very Western way of thinking. We believe that achieving a goal will somehow make us happy, conveniently ignoring the fact that the goal line always moves slightly beyond our reach. The 5 essential people skills: how to assert yourself, listen to others, and resolve conflict. Chapter 15. Assertive conflict resolution. All these factors have made conflict the prevention and resolution tools more valuable than ever before. At the outset, let's get a perspective on exactly what's involved in this kind of situation and on how complicated they can become. To do that, we'll look at an instant from the life of a man who is better known for things other than getting in fight. As you'll see, his esteemed reputation came later in his career. Empty Planet, the shock of global population, on an ambitious reimagining of our demographic future. A brief history of population. Would history repeat itself? Would the end of war bring recession and unemployment and maybe even another depression? Harry was determined to prevent that. Another man whose name was nearly lost to history. He grew up in Braddock, Pennsylvania, working in his father's grocery store, holding down a paper loot, and also worked part-time for the Union Pacific Railroad. That kind of industriousness got him to Oberlin College, and then the University of Pittsburgh, where he earned a law degree before he could start to practice. However, the First World War arrived. How successful people lead, taking your influence to the next level. Strike a balance. Strike a balance between care and candor. Some people think that succeeding in permissional leadership means treating the people on their team as though they were family. That is almost always a mistake. People don't deal realistically with their families. I don't. I have a commitment level with them that is deeper than with others. Regardless of what my family does, I'm committed to giving them unconditional love. They have privileges that I extend to no other people, and the compromise is constant. Anyone who says they don't believe in compromise has never been married or stayed married. What makes a family great isn't what makes a team great. Families value community over contribution. Buildings value contribution over community. The best team strike a balance. Nice girls don't get the corner office 101. Unconscious mistakes women make that sabotage their career. Mistake 92, accepting dead-end assignment. I once coached a young woman who was offered a transfer to a small, remote division of a company. Coaching tips. Consider the following 5 factors of a plus when deciding whether or not to take what appears to be a dead-end assignment. It has accessibility to senior management. Don't sweat the small stuff for moms. Simple ways to stress less and enjoy your family more. building your family team. You can imagine what a perfect pair they were, both loving the same game and irrepressibly passing the time in entertainment and exercise together. Looking at our dog as a part of the family team and as a playmate for Jazz that gave me just the break I needed to do my chores. Be a mom, not a friend. 212, the extra degree. Extraordinary results begin with one small change. Be optimistic. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. 212 degrees focus. 212 degrees focus is critical. Is critical to your success in business and also in life. However, I must admit that this is something that took me a while to learn. More is better sound reasonable, but I've learned the opposite is usually true. Less I've discovered is usually more. This book is a good example. The reason, of course, is that there is something powerful about laser-like focus, having simple, clearly defined goals can cut through the fog like a beacon in the night. Perseverance is not a long race. It is many short races, one after the other. Perseverance. Absence of mind. Absence of mind. On human nature. The degree to which debunking is pursued as if it were an urgent crusade, at whatever cost to the wealth of insight into human nature that might come from attending to the record humankind has left, and without regard for the probative standard scholarship as science should answer to may well be the most remarkable feature of the modern period in intellectual history. One your sixth grader needs to know fundamentals of a good sixth grade education. Language arts. The free bird sing of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. I like to see it lapped miles. I like to see lapped miles and lick the valleys up, and stop to feed itself at thanks and then prodigious step. Your roadmap for success. You can get there from here. Sowing seed that benefit others. Chapter 8. Is it a family trip? This last point is the most important of all. When you feel loved and supported by your family, you can weather nearly any crisis, and you can truly enjoy success. Be creative about finding reason to talk each other. Steps to take along the way. Is it a family trip? Adjusting your calendar. Sit down and schedule at least 1 hour per week with each family member for the next month. Try to select the activities that both you and the family member enjoy. Make it on your calendar as you would any business appointment. Then keep the appointment. Life is tremendous. Do you want to be happy, productive, healthy, and secure? Enthusiasm makes the difference. Those three decisions in life. I remember I was irritated with with her over some little thing, and that's why it hit me so hard. She prayed first that night and said something like this: Dear God, thank you for this good husband you've given me. Forgive me for not being a better wife. Help me be better. And she prayed the words crushed me. I could see very clearly she wasn't at fault. I was the scoundrel. I wasn't the husband I should have been. I wasn't the father I could have been. What a great lesson. The only way I could begin to learn it was on my knees. If she had said those things to my face, I would have suspected her of trying a new approach to get her own way. The key to a successful marriage is not doing things for each other, it's doing things with each other. It's not getting old together, it's growing old together. It's not acting like a husband and wife are supposed to act. It's spending your lives learning to be what a husband and a wife should be. My friend, it'll hurt, it'll cost. Lots of young people think marriage is a honeymoon. A honeymoon is the warfare. It's a warfare. But we are both winning now that I am learning what it means to be a husband. Warfare. Scoundrel. Young people think marriage is a honeymoon. yesterday and today in the USA. Thomas Edison, Richard Menlo Park. Richard. Invention that greatly improved the functioning of the telegraph earned him so much money that he was able to establish a laboratory for invention. In 1878, Edison invented the phonograph. The incandescent bulb was patented in 1880 when a light bulb was produced that could burn for 40 hours. Out of Edison's work in electricity, there developed the electric power and lighted the industries and eventually a new way of living for the people of the United States and much of the rest of the world. Many other inventions from the so-called invention factory proved to be of great importance, but the remarkable work in electricity had truly a revolutionary effect on modern life. Comprehension. What was the most important of Edison's invention? Speaking and writing discussion. Does the success of the invention factory mean that invention is a matter of carefully organized work, but not of genius? Pause. Harnessing the life-changing power of giving yourself a break. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, five signs you need a pause. Excellence is never an accident. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wide choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. You may start out like I did in a relatively contented place. You hold a position in life, whether it is a specific occupation or family role like a primary caretaker. You enjoy many aspects of your life. Your career is in a good place. You are financially stable and have a well-paying job. You may even be in a relationship that you adore and enjoy. Your family is supportive, caring, and nurturing at least some, if not all, of the time. On all counts, you are successful and content with everything you've accomplished up until now. In other words, that you've made it, the wake-up call. However, for some reason, things aren't sitting well lately. Restlessness set in. You feel drained several times throughout the day. Cracks are beginning to appear around your seemingly comfortable life. You realize you are rock solid. The rock solid foundation maybe it's not so rock solid. Your current situation hasn't been what the external world considers successful, but perhaps you forgot about your own satisfaction and fulfillment. You were too busy going for the next thing. Maybe you felt obligated to please others. Maybe material gain was your primary goal, or at least one of your top motivators. I invite you to take a deep breath, a pause if you will. Ask yourself, what is going on with me internally and emotionally? Is it matching what is happening externally in my environment? In other words, are you aligned? Are you aligned? Sign 1. You used to love your job. Now you loathe it. Or would on burnout. Sign 2. The boss tells you it's not working out. Sign 3. An intervention separates you from your work or technology. As humans, we are designed to yearn, and it happens throughout our lifetime. Evolution rewards us. When we follow our yearnings, we get a flood of feel-good neurochemicals in our system. Excellence. Your destiny. 5 signs you need a pause. 100 ways to create the wealth. Start all over every day. All appears to change when we change. The only difference between a rat and the grave is a few feet. Don't just do things because that's how you did them yesterday. Be new to yourself every day. Refresh, reboot, and reinvent your work as often as you can. You can save what's good while trying all kinds of new things. Start all over every day. And the minute you do that, you have a fresh start. You are no longer who you used to be. Refresh, reboot, work. Practice your critical routine. Practice graceful communication. Practice planning. Practice meditation. Practice extraordinary service to others. Practice your professional magic. The slight edge, turning simple discipline into massive success and happiness. The first ingredient, do the thing and you shall have the power. Personal stories from the slight edge research readers. I have used the principles of the slight edge to improve my physical fitness, starting with one push-up and one sit-up a day, adding another each day and building to over 100 per day. I have used it to help pay off debt, build my saving and investment, and improve my relationship with my children. Essential point from Chapter 2. Successful people fail their way to the top. Do the thing, and you shall have the power. The slight edge is the first ingredient, the catalyst you need that make all the how-tos work. Your philosophy creates your attitudes, which create your action, which create your results, which create your life. No matter how good the information is, it won't do you any good unless you have the right catalyst that will let you apply it effectively. Success is a choice. 10 steps to overachieving in business and life. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. Then move on. It's the human nature to embrace success to some degree. Without question, you should celebrate the good times and enjoy the fruits of your labors. You should take great pride in your accomplishment. But your celebratory moments should be short-lived, and then you must go back to work. Stick with your discipline. Sometimes it's easy to cling to the consequences of success and forget the exhausting path that got you there. Remind yourself that the only way you did it was through hard work, and that's the only way you'll do it again. Create the new goals. You must always be raising. You must always be raising the bar. You must always be setting higher standards for yourself. This is what separates the good from the great. This is what highly motivated people do. They refuse to be satisfied. They refuse to believe they've reached their full potential. They always keep thinking they can do more, accomplish more. Getting things done, the art of stress-free productivity. Getting control of your life. The 5 steps of mastering workflow. A useful definition of liberty is obtained only by seeking the principle of liberty in the main beginnings of human life. That is to say, in the process by which men educate their response and learn to control their environment. Getting things under control, whether that's in your kitchen or in your company, will incorporate the DAM. And each of these separate aspects has its own best practice and tools and must work together with the rest as a whole to produce that wonderfully productive state of being present amid all the complexity. Don't let life get in your way. Minute to minute and day to day, you don't have time to think. You need to have a ready thought. Part 2 of this book will provide specific coaching about how to use these models for making action choices and how the best of the practice for capturing, clarifying, planning, organizing, and reflecting all contribute to your great success with them. Identity, your passport to success. Yeah, get close but candid friends to give you an honest assessment. How do they picture your identity? What do they perceive your value to be? Is there a difference between the way you perceive yourself and the way others perceive you? Chapter 2. Knowing yourself should be easy. It isn't. Why is that? He sensed a hunger, or at least some yearning, within her. It was as if she was longing for something more. We tried to see Carol too, Rob said, but the nurse says she doesn't want to see anyone. Why Mars and Venus collide. When women expect more than what they are getting from men, they will always get less. Just knowing that she will not be interrupted can lower a woman's stress level. Women who don't talk enough. A basic rule in gender communication is that the man should never talk more than the woman. Some women don't feel the need to share. They are too busy and they don't want to be bothered. On the surface, they appear to be from Mars, but inside they are still from Venus. As a man practices Venus talk with his partner, he will gradually grow in his ability to feel empathy and compassion. This new man brings hope for the future. He is not a man who has become like a woman, but a man who has learned to listen with his heart. How to Be Everything, a guide for those who still don't know what they want to be when they grow up. The Real Problem: Multi-potentialities, Slackers, and Innovators. My hope is that you are holding one in your hand. I put this book together so that people like us would have somewhere to turn when designing their career and their lives. Throughout the next few chapters, we'll be getting into the nitty gritty, practical stuff, nitty gritty. Win. The key principles to take your business from ordinary to extraordinary. The perfect passionate visual. Black and white images are just as powerful as those in full color. When minimal words are used, make you want to learn more and do more. The picture alone communicates a message without any word necessary. Connect emotionally as well as intellectually. You can't look away. It is so compelling that it demands focus and concentration. Less is more. One photo can be better than a montage. If words are a weapon, Frank is a samurai. Attitudes are the 101, what every leader needs to know. How does attitudes impact an individual? Your attitudes and your potential go hand in hand. Attitude axiom number one. Our attitudes determines our approach to life. Our attitudes tells us what we expected from life. Like an airplane, if our nose is pointed up, we are taking off. If it is pointed down, we may be headed for the crash. One of my favorite stories is about a grandpa and a grandma who visit their grandchildren. Each afternoon, Grandpa would lie down for a nap. One day, as a practical joke, the kid decided to put Limburger cheese in his mustache. Made it to stick. Why some ideas survive and others die. Simple. Proverbs are the holy grail of simplicity. Coming up with a short, compact phrase is easy. Anybody can do it. On the other hand, that coming up with a profound compact praise is incredibly difficult. What we've tried to show in this chapter is that the effort is worth it, that finding the core and expressing it in the form of a compact idea can be enduringly powerful. Lifespan, why we age and why we don't have to. Viva primordium. These defense systems are all activated in response to biological stress. A second career, the possible dream. Harvard Business Review on managing your career. Reawakening your passion for work. Tools for reflection, reflecting on the past, defining your principles for life, extending the horizon, extending the horizon, envisioning the future. Think about where you would be sitting and reading this article if it were 15 years from now and you were living your ideal life. Envisioning an ideal future can be a powerful way to connect with the possibilities for change in our lives. I deserve joy. I deserve to live in an atmosphere of joy and acceptance. On the other hand, enter the nudges, just another tool in the management toolbox, nudges. Nudge. I knew I was going to be a comedian when I was about 6. You get what you believe you'll get. You have to really want it and you'll get it. Choose your story, change your life. Silence your inner critic and rewrite your life from the inside out. Once she started actively looking for them, these stories were everywhere. Born for this, born for this. When to quit your job and when to turn a side hustle into a full-time business. The secret to life. The secret to life is to put yourself in the right lighting. Manifest your desire. 365 ways to make your dreams a reality. As you create scenarios that make you feel good, you activate a vibration that does feel good, and then the law of attraction matches that vibration. Eat their lunch, winning customers away from your competition. What is essential is invisible to the eye. 7 habits of highly effective teens. Sharpen the soul. Renew yourself regularly. Synergize. Work together to achieve more. Seek first to understand than to be understood. Think win-win. Put first things first. Begin with the end in mind. Be proactive. Take responsibility for your life. Peer pressure. Now discover your strengths, how to develop your talents and those of the people you manage. The keystone of high achievement and happiness is exercising your strengths. Kiss that frog. 12 great ways to turn negatives into positives in your life and work. The 4 groups of people you must learn to forgive if you truly want to be happy are your parents, your intimate relationship, everyone else, and yourself. The power of your subconscious mind unlock your master key to success. Maintain this mental picture, and you will experience the marriage made in heaven, which is harmony and peace. Going solo. The extraordinary rise and surprising appeal of living alone. Becoming the boss. New rules for the next generation of leaders. The most important thing, uncommon sense for the thoughtful investor. Effortless small talk. Learn how to talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere, even if you are painfully shy. Have they been involved for a long time? The obstacle is the way, the ancient art of turning adversity to advantage. Thank you for being late. An optimist guide to thriving in the age of acceleration. The zigzag principle. The goal-setting strategy that will revolutionize your business and your life. The road to success is never a straight line. In the spotlight. Overcome your fear of public speaking and performing. Then imagine yourself in the days, weeks, or months prior to the presentation or performance, feeling calm and relaxed about the upcoming event, confident in your ability to do well. The high 5 habit. Take control of your life with one simple habit. "14 principles to grow your business like the Amazon." After 3 years of work. Third culture keys. The experience of growing up among worlds, absolutely brilliant, will quickly become the most sought after book in the international expatriate community. And the obvious enjoyment that each felt in the presence of the other.